Welcome to today's video. This is part 3 of my look at Volutidae, and we're going to look at non-Australian volutes. So in this first drawer we have New Zealand shells, some rare specimens like Fleming eye, Knox eye, Smith eye. Can be seen there, a very beautiful shell. And very well known is Mirabilis. As they get brighter in colour than that. I've seen some very almost bright orange. There's a lovely white one. Down here we've got the group of Swansoni, Arabica depressa. More Swansoni's there. Joculoids, some luteas, and I think you can see the names on some of those labels. Calva there, beautiful one there, fusus. Alright, some Austenfeldi, so some beautiful group of volutes from New Zealand. The next one are the Americas. And scroll down there. So this is North, Central and South America. Beautiful beck eyes there. That largest one is just on 40 centimeters. I believe they grow to be just under 50 centimeters. The competition between which country has the largest volute. I think Australia's Melo just wins the prize. Melo grows to about 550 millimeters. But a very famous one there, Ginonica. And there's butler eye form there as well. Little dubia hidden in there. And lovely Dawny there. Some beautiful shells there. Americana is one of them, yes. Another different type. And then we get these beautiful group here. Musica, I've always thought was a beautiful shell. And this lovely one here. Polypleura hilli, and then another Polypleura is here, and that is, oh, you can read that probably better than I can. Alright, some beautiful shells from the Americas. Next we have shells from Japan, Taiwan, China, India, Sri Lanka, and I've also just slipped some New Caledonia shells in there as well. So some very well known ones from India, beautiful shell there. Lovely Lirias there. Clotheriana, I think. No, yes. Beautiful shell there from Taiwan. And a lovely range there. All right, the next drawer is looking at Africa and Europe, and probably one of the most well-known of genus is that of the Cymbium, and there we have a number of different species there and a couple of large ones there. All of those come from Africa or Europe. And then we have this This lovely range down here, some beautiful ones there. I think that's called Juponte from memory. Yes, lovely Africana there. Some beautiful ones from Portugal there. Quite a iconic shell. Piriamus. Lovely Leo from Kenya. There's quite a few different named shells amongst that group. Little one there. And a couple of nice rare ones there from South Africa. It's always been an interesting one. And the lovely Gilcristo. And a couple of other ones there from Africa. And the remaining two draws are from primarily Indonesia and the Philippines, and few other areas, some Singapore as well. I'll just scan what we're going to be looking at. All right, on a couple of balers I've included there, but I'm going to do one final video looking at Australian and world balers. I think I have every species, so I'm looking forward to putting that video together. All right, so here we've got some beautiful shells. The Orlicas and the Vespertilios dominate. There are a few other species, such as Inexa, that little group there. Also Orlica cathcartia, that little group there. But the Orlica's beautiful colours, that lovely albino, those beautiful broad orange and red specimen. A couple of different varieties there. And that's quite a well-known one. Species there years ago came out at very high prices because I think a few dealers were just releasing a few at a time. But of course, if you go collecting in the areas where they are, they're very plentiful. Still seems to be registered as rare, but I would suggest it's moderately common in its area where it's to be found. It's an interesting thing about shells. Do you invest in shells or not? Sometimes that investment pays off. At other times, a very rare shell may indeed become available and the price plummets. And I've seen that happen many times. Vespertilio, I've some beautiful varieties there. I've already talked about that one from Australia. I think that's a particularly gorgeous one, that purple pink coloured one. Beautiful pattern, such a variety of shells, and I've just put that little one in there from Indonesia. Sorry, Philippines. So some beautiful varieties. And the way, it took me a while to work out what's the difference between those and those is the protoconch. If you look at the protoconch carefully, you can see how it's sort of knobbled, ribbed. Yet if I look at an Orlica, such as here, it's smooth. So that's the best way to tell, because if you look at the rest of the shell, very often they look very similar. So it's the protoconch that differentiates those species. And then this next draw, some beautiful Imperialis and some varieties there. Nobilis, some beautiful ones there, varieties, and lovely albino one there. And these have been given a number of different names recently. There's a couple of Tiramachias, Johnsoni and Dalai from the Philippines. Vespertilio, a bit of an overflow from the last draw. And as I said, the balers, just a little taste for what's going to come in the next video. So those nobilis there, you don't get them any larger than that, to my knowledge. The largest one there being over 20 centimetres. Right, thank you. I hope you liked part 3 of the Volutidae.